Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the book, The Associate, by John Grisham. This is yet another legal thriller by him. He is one of my favorite authors of all time, and he generally has two camps of writing that he does. John Grisham either has these super, thoughtful, deep-themed, emotional stories that really tackle difficult subjects, like his A Time To series with Jake Brigance and a few of his other books. And then he has the more kind of light thriller where there's not necessarily deeper themes, it's just you're seeing kind of a story featuring legal storylines and stuff and lawyers and stuff. And this one fits more into the lighter category because it doesn't have the same deeper themes. But it's not light as in like stress-free, because I spent the entire book feeling stressed because of the tense nature of the thriller. Thriller is an absolute descriptor of this book. The basic premise of this is that the main character, Kyle McAvoy, he is basically blackmailed into spying on one firm for this other unknown group. And so they basically force him to go to join this firm that he didn't want to join, and then start taking documents and giving the documents to this group that wants those documents. And he doesn't know who this group is or why they want them or what they're going to do with those documents, but that's all he knows. And they're blackmailing him because there was an alleged incident. I won't use the word because it might get me demonetized, but there's an alleged incident in Kyle McAvoy's past that they are trying to use as blackmail. And Kyle McAvoy and the audience are adamant that Kyle had nothing to do with the incident, but he was present when the incident happened, and so it's not so there's it's a legal murky area. And so Kyle spends the whole story being worried that evidence about the incident are going to come out and that he's going to lose his, freedom, or at least if he goes through the trial, he's going to lose his reputation and stuff. And Kyle is like a 25-year-old, just student finishing out law school and getting ready to go out and become a real lawyer. And so it's called The Associate because he becomes the associate at Scully and Pershing, which is this enormous firm that hires like 100 new lawyers every year. 100, baseline lawyers. Anyway, so that's the basic premise of the book. And I was just on the edge of my seat. I actually did this book differently than I do most of my book review or book reads. I had to travel up to Tennessee to move my parents into their new house. And so on the way up, I listened to the first third of the book. And then while I was up there helping out, I physically read about the middle third of the book. And then on the drive back down the next day, I listened to the last third of the book. So it was mostly audiobook for me this time, although there was some physical reading as well. And the audiobook narrator did a good job. But as with all of John Grisham's stories, I was on the edge of my seat. I had to know what happened next. And as I mentioned, it doesn't have these deeper themes, which is what keeps it from hitting the best of his works, but I still think it's very entertaining. There are some characters from Kyle McAvoy's past, from his days back in school, who are involved in the incident, and those characters were a lot of fun to follow. One of them is going through rehab, and he was by far my favorite part of the book. Seeing him go through drug and alcohol rehab was brilliant. I was hooked. I was emotionally invested. He was the one character who was the most guilty, and yet he was the one character I was adamant should escape this because his journey in this book was brilliant. And then you had the other character who's getting married, and he's worried about the incident revealing information about him. And anyway, those side characters were also very cool. And John Grisham has this focus in his books with his law focused books to try to make it seem like people in these big firms are working, 80 to 100 hour work weeks, and trying to make it seem like they have absolutely no life outside of that work. And I'm sure that sometimes happens, but that just seems really outside the realm of normalcy for work. Maybe it's just because of the culture that in the area that I live in and the types of jobs that my friends and my neighbors and people that I know have, but we don't have that kind of culture of working 100-hour work days or work weeks and being busy like that. Instead, we just, we work the 40, maybe 50 hours if it requires a little bit more, and then we go home to our families. So it's really odd. It's a very different lifestyle than I'm used to reading about. But the book has some action showdowns, particularly at the beginning and the end of the book. So it's not just the legal inside the courtroom. In fact, you never, if you're I don't like reading about the courtroom stuff, you never set foot in a courtroom in this book. That's not the focus. The focus is about the guy infiltrating the firm and trying to get the documents out as a spy. And so here's the comparison I will use. If you read and really liked The Rooster Bar or The Brethren, or both, then I think you will really enjoy The Associate, because it has kind of the stress and the archetypes that are in The Rooster Bar, and it has the thriller nature of the Brethren. So if you combine the two, if you were to combine Rooster Bar and The Brethren, you'd get The Associate. And so if you enjoyed these, I think you will absolutely love this. If you thought, this was not for me, maybe this is not the Grisham book for you to pick up. But, even his weaker books, I think, are still really good. I would give this an 8 out of 10. It's still a really strong, entertaining book. It's just not a favorite of mine. But as I said, even his weaker books are still pretty good. So that's my review of The Associate. If you've read this book, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.